Forward TV. The world is thinking.
Here's a poem that I like to read, which is kind of another, it just connects with that one because it's also stealing something from another poet. And a lot of this stuff goes on rather covertly that I'm not going to tell you about, but some of it, there are different kinds of thefts, and some of them are daylight crimes, just knocking over a jewelry store at noon. But another stuff is like a second story guys. But this is very open. I take the first two lines of someone else's poem and rewrite it for them, which is this is done out of courtesy to when you see a poem that doesn't seem to get that seems to fail, you can just rewrite it and improve upon it that way. So this is I came across this love poem in a magazine, and it's a series of comparisons in which the poet relies on a very ancient device in Western love poetry, at least dating back to the Middle Ages, which is to compare the beloved to various things in the world, and therefore, by flattering her, so your eyes are like stars and whatnot, you make headway. And so his poem really is a wheel-spinning exercise in these kinds of comparisons, about 40 lines of just the same stuff. You're like, this, you are this and that. So he begins by saying to the beloved, he says, "You are the bread and the knife, the crystal goblet and the wine." Litany. You are the bread and the knife, the crystal goblet and the wine. You are the dew on the morning grass and the burning wheel of the sun. You are the white apron of the baker and the marsh birds suddenly in flight. However, you are not the wind in the orchard, the plums on the counter, or the house of cards. And you are certainly not the pine-scented air. There is no way you are the pine-scented air. It is possible that you are the fish under the bridge, maybe even the pigeon on the general's head, but you are not even close to being the field of cornflowers at dusk. And a quick look in the mirror will show that you are neither the boots in the corner nor the boat asleep in its boathouse. It might interest you to know, speaking of the plentiful imagery of the world, that I am the sound of rain on the roof. I also happen to be the shooting star, the evening paper blowing down an alley, and the basket of chestnuts on the kitchen table. I am also the moon in the trees and the blind woman's teacup. But don't worry, I am not the bread and the knife. You are still the bread and the knife. You will always be the bread and the knife, not to mention the crystal goblet and somehow the wine.